gotta go now!
Think you can bend the rules just because you sit in the corner office? Think again.
You guys are bums compared to me, huh? Y'all got homes that make millions. You guys are bums.
I'm not even worried about it, but your position, you're gonna get your fired.
Welcome to our video, where we will dive into the unbelievable antics of top executives who seem to forget that laws apply to everyone, even them. Badge meets justice.
Get off my property, please. I asked you, please get off my property.
Enter Mesa Police Lieutenant Rick Van Gelder, the unexpected lead in a roadside drama. The whole thing started on February 12th when Rick was swerving close to the median like it was no big deal right after turning off Dobson Road. What he didn't know was that a watchful driver saw what he was doing and called the cops. And that's when Officer Gonzalo Dominguez of the Gilbert Police came in. He was accompanied by his mentor, Josiah Saladin. They see Rick's car, which strangely has a plate honoring fallen officers, and decide it's time to take action. The chase didn't go on for long.
Roll down the back window, please. Officer Dominguez, how are you doing? I need your license, please. Any weapons, anything illegal in the vehicle?
Yeah, I have a gun.
Where's your weapon?
They found Rick had a loaded gun, and he refused to take a sobriety test. But wait, Rick had a solution to give to the cops? He offered to park his car and walk home, 5 miles. Was he trying to impress the officers with his dedication to fitness, or was this just a desperate move to avoid arrest? Mr. Rick probably thought that police often feel the pressure to go easy on one of their own, but not tonight. The Gilbert Police were playing by the book, and they arrested Rick, badge or no badge. Just when you thought this couldn't get any wilder, Teresa Van Gelder, Rick's wife, and a Mesa police detective comes in. While she was being questioned, a piece of pizza fell out of her mouth, evidence of the fun night the couple was having. Despite Rick's ranting and attempts to pull rank, the handcuffs clicked shut. Later tests showed his blood alcohol level was nearly 4 times the legal limit. Wealthy CEO's traffic tantrum. It all began with a simple traffic stop that escalated into a heated confrontation. A retired CEO believed his high status exempted him from following the law.
Ma'am!
Excuse you, I need your license, your registration, and insurance.
But don't be a bully. You're a bully. And I don't like woman bullies. Period.
The driver, a retired CEO named Richards, was not in the mood for a traffic stop. From the get-go, he was defensive and confrontational. Instead of handing over his driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance as requested, he held up a drink.
Put the drink down. I need your license.
Deputy Hans, trying to keep things professional, told him to put it down and focus on the task at hand. Mr. Richards wasn't having it. He accused Deputy Hans of bullying and claimed his high-profile status made the stop unjustified. His attitude went from bad to worse as he resisted providing the necessary documents. At one point, he even taunted the deputy, saying he'd take his sweet time and that his rights were being trampled. No matter how many times Deputy Hans asked, Richards kept stalling.
You are not allowed to pass on a double solid yellow line or double solid breakdown line, sir. You did it twice. I gave you the pass on the first one, and then you did it again.
I have no points.
Doesn't matter, sir. I need your registration, please, sir. I need your registration, please, sir.
Everything.
Okay.
All right?
At first, he said he couldn't find his registration, and then he just straight up refused to even try.
You're bullying me.
Okay.
I don't like you. I really don't like you. Because you're not a good officer.
Okay.
I'll speak to your superior.
That's fine. So when the little yellow sticker comes on, sir.
Ma'am, just don't tell me what to do.
He made sure to flex his legal and financial muscles, telling the deputy he was messing with the wrong guy and that his lawyers would handle everything.
So is everything good with your license, sir? It's not suspended for
I have
any
0
reason?
points, bitch.
So your license is not
I have
suspended?
0 points.
Okay. Stay in the car. I'll be right back with you, sir.
His defiance hit its peak when he drove off from the traffic stop, only to get caught at a nearby store shortly after.
The reason why I moved.
Nope.
I just moved
No.
Because I'm sick.
Don't
I want to go to the hospital.
Don't resist
I want to go to the hospital.
your hands behind your back
I want
right
to go
now.
to the hospital.
He accused Deputy Hands of being violent and threatened to sue him, saying he'd take everything he owned. He even demanded to speak to another sheriff, claiming his rights were being violated. When the backup arrived, the officers tried to de-escalate the situation, but Richards continued ranting.
Stay in your car.
I
With
had to
the
get
AC.
medicine. I had to get.
They don't have medicine at Cumberland,
Of course
sir.
they do. They have Valerian.
He wanted the princess treatment for breaking the rules and demanded medical attention, asserting that the officers were endangering his health and violating his rights. Through it all, the officers stayed professional. Eventually, they escorted Richards to the station for further evaluation. Fairborn's DUI drama. When the officers approached this car, they found Sergeant Fakis slumped over the steering wheel, completely unresponsive to their initial attempts to wake him. There was a smell of alcohol inside the car, and a bottle opener was just sitting there in plain sight.
What's going on tonight? Step out here with me. We're going to have a seat in my car, okay? I want to talk to you.
Knowing well enough it was his mistake, Sergeant Peter Fakis wasn't exactly cooperative. When asked to step out of the vehicle and take a field sobriety test, he flat out refused.
I'm Trooper Garden. I'm going to have you step out with me, or we're going to go back to my patrol car, okay? So please step out. Because I can have them transport you to jail, and I can just meet you there. It doesn't matter to me, okay? So would you like to step out now?
He wasn't just being unhelpful, he was making things worse on purpose. Knowing they were dealing with a fellow officer, the cops tried to be gentle. They told him straight up that refusing a sobriety test wouldn't stop them from arresting him. They made it clear that his behavior and how he cooperated would play a big role in how they proceeded. But Sergeant Fakis refused to move an inch. His stubbornness left the officers with no other option. They slapped the cuffs on him and hauled him away. After looking into it, they confirmed that Fakis was definitely driving drunk. In the end, Fakis took a plea deal that meant no jail time, but it did little to downplay the seriousness of his actions. Justice on trial in Yavapai County.
What's going on today, ma'am? Okay, well, we got some reports that you were inside of Safeway.
Yes.
And you're walking around stumbling, and you got back in your vehicle,
I'm trying to
and you left the store.
Sally Hancock, a Superior Court judge, found herself in quite a compromising situation after leaving a Safeway store. Some people saw her stumbling around the store, then somehow making it back to her car and driving off. Naturally, someone called the cops, leading to a traffic stop that uncovered more than just some clumsy moves.
Have you consumed any alcohol today?
Earlier today I did, yes.
Earlier today?
Earlier.
Like when you mean earlier, how earlier?
A couple hours ago.
A couple of hours ago? How much did you drink?
A couple of glasses of wine.
Okay. And were you at home when you did this, or were you out? You were at home? Okay.
The officers asked her to do a field sobriety test. She struggled to keep her balance, clearly having a tough time with the tests. She clearly knew she was at fault, but instead of being an example for everyone and showing that the law is the same for all, she played the judge card.
Can she take me home?
No, I don't know yet. This is up to the officer.
Do you know I'm a judge here?
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. For Yavapai County?
Yeah. And I don't want to use that. I don't want to use it. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I really don't.
She revealed her judicial role to the officers, perhaps hoping it might sway the situation. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In fact, it only made things more complicated. In the end, Judge Hancock got arrested and slapped with a bunch of DUI charges, including a super extreme one. She ended up striking a deal, admitting to a lesser DUI charge. And guess what? Her punishment was just 1 day in jail and a hefty fine of over $1,000. Reps arrested Knight out. It was a late night, and State Representative Dean Davis was found outside a local bar well past closing time, beer in hand. Now, most folks would know that's a no-no, but Davis had a different idea. He thought his status as a state representative gave him immunity from arrest during the legislative session, anywhere, anytime.
You've been given ample opportunity.
I was walking away.
But then you want to tell me about how you're a state representative and that we're going to have this conversation tomorrow.
He did.
And then you want to flap so bad.
Sir, he did.
But the man was mistaken. The officers, keeping their cool, explained that legislative immunity only counts at the state capitol during active sessions. After he was arrested and sat in the back of the police cruiser, he kept denying he'd done anything wrong. He claimed he was drinking soda, not beer.
I don't understand what you guys are doing and why.
Whenever you want to not listen to simple commands, sir, you're given a couple of opportunities to walk away, but then you want to threaten us.
He challenged the arrest, arguing there was no official test to prove he was drunk, but the officers had seen enough. Eventually, Davis was taken to the Oklahoma County Detention Center and later released on bond. Candidates' traffic stop turmoil. In Sarasota, Florida, a recent traffic stop involving congressional candidate Martin Hyde turned into a heated exchange that was all caught on police body cam.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sir? I'm Sebastian, Sarasota Police Department. You're on audio and video recording. The reason for the stop, you were observed going 57 and a 40, and you were on your phone texting while you were doing that.
Officer Sebastian of the Sarasota Police Department pulled Hyde over for speeding over 57 miles per hour in a 40 zone and for texting while driving. At first, things were pretty routine. But things got messy when Hyde couldn't find his car's registration. Officer Sebastian kept asking, but Hyde got all up in his face instead of just doing what he was asked.
You're not going to give me your registration, sir.
You arrest me?
I'm asking you if you're going to produce me with your registration. You don't have it on you?
He started asking why he needed the registration and then started making threats about Officer Sebastian's job. But Officer Sebastian did his job anyway, giving Hyde tickets for speeding, texting while driving, and not having the registration. Hyde wasn't happy and demanded to talk to a higher-up, saying the officer was out of line and swearing to fight the tickets in court.
Why you lying?
Phone number on the bottom in case you have any questions. When my supervisor comes, I'll wait for him with you if you like me to. Your citation's over here. You can accept them. I will wait, but I will wait on my car. There you go.
As the minutes ticked by, Hyde's frustration grew. He felt he was being treated unfairly, arguing that his status as a congressional candidate and his contributions to local police union negotiations should have earned him more respect. He accused Officer Sebastian of abusing his authority and threatened to take action.
Nobody's above the law.
No one's above the law. You have to have some degree of respect for law-abiding.
That degree of respect started the moment I walked up to your car, sir.
No.
Then comes Sergeant Frangione, the supervisor Hyde demanded to see. When Frangione showed up, Hyde kept on complaining. He wasn't happy with how the stop went down. But Sergeant Frangione stayed cool and explained the legal stuff to Hyde and told him how he could challenge the tickets if he wanted. Maybe next time just keep quiet and don't flex your status. Representatives' DUI debacle. In December 2023, there was a representative from North Dakota, Nico Rios, who found himself in a difficult situation after a traffic stop in Williston went south, right after a Christmas party where he had several beers. Rios's night took a turn he wasn't expecting.
I live 2 blocks away. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I want to conduct a series of field sobriety tests, okay, to make sure you're good to drive. Because I smell alcohol in your breath and you're slurring your words a little. I said with the Slater's wristband, but you said you're coming from Famous Dave's. So I just want to run some field sobriety tests. Are you happy to do that?
Absolutely. Why not?
Awesome.
The officers decided to conduct tests, and it was clear pretty quickly that Rios wasn't in good shape.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
He was slurring his words, stumbling all over the place, basically a walking disaster.
You guys are on me.
Okay.
And you guys are gonna regret picking on me.
Okay.
Because you don't know who the I am.
Okay. Just 1 second. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance again. Will you provide the test?
No, sir.
Okay.
And you know what?
Sir, at this moment in time, you're under arrest for DUI. Place on my back.
But even though he was kicking up a fuss, the cops had all the evidence they needed to cuff him for a DUI. When those cuffs were on, he started threatening to call in the Attorney General as if that would scare the cops off.
Do you want your phones? There's 2 phones in there. Do you want those, and do you want your...
I would take 2 phones here. I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Because I got to call Attorney General Drew Wrigley to let these guys know you're being an asshole to me.
Okay.
His attitude got worse by the minute by tossing out insults and even questioning one cop's nationality, like that's got anything to do with it. The night ended at the police station, where he got slapped with DUI charges and refused a breathalyzer test. And when the situation settled, he tried to say sorry, but the damage was done. Judge Dye's DUI arrest. In Brimfield Township, Ohio, a situation involving 55-year-old County Judge Rebecca Dye got so bad that it ended in her arrest and a list of charges. Everything started when a local police officer responded to an accident. When they arrived, they found the reputable Judge Dye's car. The vehicle was in a bad condition, and there were signs of vomit on the door that gave a hint that the judge was not in good shape. The cops shifted Judge Dye in the back of their cruiser, and once she was in there, she went from upset to freaking out real quick. They took her to the police station, and she was having intense mood swings, switching between being really upset and acting like she didn't care at all. It was like watching a drama show right there in the station.
Rebecca, I will put you in one of the cells if you do
Okay.
not. I'm
Call
trying to
Marilyn
really play nice
now.
with you. Have a seat.
Call him now.
During booking, Judge Dye made several demands, such as asking to contact a personal acquaintance named Larry Limburg and repeatedly requesting water. The police kept their cool and insisted she sit down and cooperate. They kept on reminding her that everything was being recorded and that staying calm would be the best for her. So Judge Dye ended up getting slapped with a charge of driving drunk. At first, they sentenced her to 180 days in prison, but she managed to make her way out of that and only got charged with 3 days in prison and 1 year ban on driving. That sounds too light of a punishment, right? State Rep's school scandal. On December 2023, school reported a dad who walked in intoxicated at his children's elementary school. This man is Matthew Gray. The police were called after it was reported that Gray smelled of alcohol and seemed unsteady on his feet.
I am not going to drive from this facility. I have somebody else to drive me away from this facility. I am not drunk.
You're not drunk?
No.
Okay. Have you had anything to drink at all?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay, cool. Any type of substance?
I have anxiety. I have taken medication related to my anxiety.
Okay.
The situation heated up when the officers wanted to make sure Gray wasn't drunk. They noticed he was talking funny and smelled like booze, but Gray kept insisting he hadn't touched a drop, saying he was just freaking out from anxiety and it had nothing to do with booze. He kept on saying that he was a state representative and suggested the officers could confirm his identity and legislative role with a quick internet search.
Work in Denver.
What's the place called?
The state capitol building of the state of Colorado.
Colorado State Capitol?
I'm the state representative for Brimfield.
Okay.
He just wanted to show his influence and authority over the officers, but the cops weren't here to back down, were they? They stayed focused on making sure of the children's safety. Gray continuously resisted the requests to conduct a field sobriety test. He argued that it was unnecessary because he wasn't going to drive. Gray's refusal to cooperate and his obvious signs of being drunk led to his arrest. He got charged with driving while impaired. In court, he admitted guilt and got a punishment that included probation, community service, and attending alcohol education classes. Captain's arrest shakes Oklahoma City. Imagine cruising through Oklahoma City, minding your own business. Suddenly, you witness this crazy scene with Captain James French from the local police department. As the officer walked up to the vehicle, he asked French if he had been drinking. French's response was very unclear, and he quickly mentioned that he was a captain in the police department.
You've been drinking tonight, sir.
I'm a captain on the police department.
What police department?
Oklahoma City.
But even with his high rank, French's behavior alarmed the officers that he might not be sober. Things started to get intense when French kept trying to get the officer to turn off the camera.
Huh? I'm not turning my camera off.
He probably thought his rank was going to make the policeman obey him, but he was told no. French realized that the officers weren't listening to him, so he finally agreed to do a sobriety test. He kept pushing for a private chat, but the officer stood firm and stayed professional and made it clear that the law applies to everyone, no matter who they are. He was not going to show favoritism just because of his rank. Chief Hemphill's traffic standoff. On August 25, 2022, in Molina, Georgia, a routine traffic stop turned into quite the scene when Chief Jonathan Hemphill of the Zebulon Police Department got pulled over by two Molina Police Department officers.
Say hello, was that illegal?
No, no, sir. The reason why we're stopping you is because it's a window tint violation.
I blinked my blue lights at you to let you know who I was.
Yes, sir. Well, we didn't know with it, that's not a government tag.
That is a unofficial tag. Okay. That tag's not even on file.
I see, yes. Well, we have to catch up the bill to run it and everything like that, sir.
They flagged him down for a window tint issue and unrecognized vehicle tags. As the officers approached, Chief Hemphill stepped out of his car and identified himself, mentioning his position as a police chief and expressing confusion about why he was being stopped.
Why are you coming up to me like that? I'm doing my job, right?
What are you stopping for?
I'm stopping for one, window tints dark and flashing blue lights. Okay, you know how many officers have blue lights?
Are you writing me a ticket, yes or no?
I'm presenting my best.
Are you writing me a ticket? I'm fixing to leave.
Do you have your driver's license?
However, the tags on his car were ghost tags, typically used for undercover or administrative vehicles, but still required to follow specific regulations to be legally recognized. At first, the Molina officers didn't realize Hemphill was a fellow officer, so they proceeded with caution. They asked him to get back in his car and provide his ID and registration paperwork. Hemphill, feeling annoyed, tried to use his status as a police chief to get out of the situation or at least make it go faster.
That's right, because you run it wrong.
Sir.
Somebody run it wrong. Either you did or they did.
We're about to get the information.
Okay, I got your chief on the phone right now. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Can you calm down for us, please?
I appreciate your service. I appreciate your service.
All right.
I'm just saying, I spoke to you guys. I didn't have to do that. I could have eased on by y'all. I appreciate the job y'all out here doing.
Chief, I'm trying to be respectful with you.
I understand that. I understand that.
I'm not raising my voice or nothing at you, right?
I understand
that. All right, let's.
But I'm trying to tell you, the only thing I done wrong was spoke. Y'all never would have pulled me over if I hadn't flicked my blue lights at you.
No, sir. No, we were going to pull you actually. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm telling you straight up, okay?
But the Molina officers didn't budge. They stuck to their rules, saying it didn't matter who Hemphill was. They explained they stopped him because of his tinted windows and unknown tags, which they had to check no matter what. In the end, they sorted things out without any big problems. School board candidate versus Nordstrom rack. On April 7, 2021, Sunset Valley police were called to a Nordstrom rack in Sunset Valley, Texas, for a problem that involved Lake Travis school board candidate Cara Bell.
It's my God-given right to be here on this planet, and you cannot tell me otherwise, correct? You just lied to me. I lied to you about what? You said I had to have an ID to be here.
No, you got to identify yourself.
When you're legally detained, you can play back on your video. When you're legally detained, you have a duty to identify yourself to a police officer. Okay, so they're saying what I'm...
Now what Bell had done was intense. She had shoved an employee and barged into a dressing room, ignoring store policies. When the officers came and went inside the store, they started questioning her. First off, the officers asked Belle to identify herself, but she refused. Why? She claimed she had a right to stay anonymous unless she was legally arrested. The officers tried to explain that they needed her ID for their report and warned her that not cooperating could lead to detention. But Belle wasn't having any of it, and after that, things got heated.
Ma'am, you need to stay over
Ma'am, you
here.
can't leave because right now you're still detained.
No, you can't. You are being detained.
Why am I being detained?
Because
Please.
we don't know who you are.
Okay, I'm being detained because they don't know who I am.
Okay?
Which
We were called
apparently
here.
is illegal.
We were called here for a situation, okay?
A situation where I was. Which we're investigating.
We don't
so if
know.
you are
We're
a
investigating
victim.
it.
Okay, where's the investigator? If you are an investigator, ma'am.
We are officers. We have to figure out what's going on.
Belle started accusing the store employee of assaulting her. This claim did not match with the witness statements. The officers told Belle that if she continued to refuse to cooperate or provide identification, she could be arrested for obstructing their investigation. But she wasn't backing down. Thinking she could act like Karen without any consequences, she shouted and challenged the officer of the legality of their actions. At the end, the officers were stuck with someone who just refused to comply and kept screaming about rights violations, even though witnesses labeled her as a criminal. Claiming a cop dad didn't save Karina. On January 8, 2023, 30-year-old Karina was escorted off a flight for causing a disturbance, including spitting and swearing at flight attendants. Talk about entitlement.
Are you okay? No. I'm just checking on you. What's going on?
The drama didn't end there. Once at the airport, Karina locked herself in a restroom, creating a whole new set of problems for the police.
I'm here to help you. What airline are you flying with? Can you open the stall? I'll let you stay on the toilet and I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not even gonna come in. I'm not even gonna come in.
You're gonna arrest me for what?
Who said I was gonna arrest you?
It means that my dad's a lieutenant.
Lieutenant where?
Does it matter?
Karina was very uncooperative as she hid away in the restroom. She claimed her father was a police lieutenant and resisted every attempt by the officers to manage the situation. The officers did their best to convince her to come out, explaining that they were there to help. But Karina wasn't having it.
Please don't touch me if you don't have a reason to.
Okay, I have a reason to, okay?
I'm arrested?
Yes, you're going to be arrested for public intoxication, okay?
Take your backpack off.
Yep, and the reason is because I talked to the airline and they said that you were kicking and screaming and causing a disturbance.
I'm not doing any of that.
In the end, the police had no choice but to arrest Karina for her failure to comply and the disturbance she caused. This led to even more outbursts from her, accusing the officers of overreach and insisting her rights were being violated. She continued to mention her father's status as a lieutenant, implying it should afford her special treatment. Commissioner's wake-up call. In Nassau County, Florida, an incident involving County Commissioner Aaron Bell put the spotlight on the consequences of impaired driving. It all started when local police got a call about a driver weaving through traffic.
I'm sorry?
I don't have a license.
You don't have your license?
No, I don't.
Do you have a valid license?
Yes.
You just don't have it with you?
No.
Okay.
As the officer walked up to the vehicle, he was welcomed with the smell of alcohol. Bell was struggling to keep his cool. He admitted he didn't have his driver's license with him, which made things worse. The officer then conducted roadside sobriety tests, which Bell failed. Bell was arrested and sent off to Nassau County Jail, charged with driving under the influence. No badge, no immunity. Here, we have a Miami-Dade police officer named Donovan Rohan, who is just 26-year-old. He got into a chaotic situation involving the law. Rohan was driving an unmarked Miami-Dade County-issued Chrysler. The deputy chased behind him, but after a while, Rohan finally pulled over.
How many people in the car? Get out of the car! Get out of the fucking car! Get out of the car right now.
The officers told him to get out of his car and get on his knees, But Rohan tried to play the cop card. Little did he know cops are supposed to abide by the rules too, but the poor guy forgot that.
Holy f***ing shit.
He's for real.
Jesus. Sarge, I can't see it. Well, that wasn't on when he passed me.
No, he's not on.
No, he's drunk.
The officers weren't about to let this slide without a thorough investigation. A search of Rohan's car turned up 2 Glock firearms, his police ID, badge, and other law enforcement gear. Despite knowing that he was one of their own officers, they stuck to the rules and regulations. They told him his rights and treated the situation with the seriousness it deserved. In the end, Donovan Rohan was charged with fleeing from the police and driving under the influence. And there you have it. These people learned the hard way that their titles don't grant them immunity. These situations show us that no one is above the law, no matter how high up they've climbed in their position. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more eye-opening stories of those who thought they were untouchable. Stay grounded, stay legal, and we'll see you in the next video.